Hey everybody, welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Angela. Guys, I hope that you all have had a fantastic week this past week and that you all have been doing all that you can to take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves and loving to yourselves. And to that accord, today we're going to be talking about healing yourself with self-care. We're going to spend some time discussing self-care, which is a topic that I've wanted to discuss for a while. In detail. We're going to spend a little time doing that today. But before we jump into that, hey family, did you all have a fantastic week? I hope that you guys did, that you did the best that you could, guys, to stay safe and to take care of yourselves emotionally during this tumultuous time. So I hope that you all have done that. If this is your first time here, let me say welcome to my channel. Dig around, find something that ministers to your whole entire soul and motivates you to live and create a life that you love and get on that level in your energy. Like, I just really want you all to really get there. And it's something that we're all working on. It doesn't just happen overnight, you know, like anything, it takes practice. And then once you practice it enough, you certainly do it. You can do it without thinking, right? All right. So before we jump right into it, I want to say thank you to Quadrillion and Grace for my coffee mug for this week. And it says, I love what it says. I don't know if you can read that. I'm trying to get it close enough. Can you read it? Can you read it? Well, what it says is, I am more convinced that God's people need never to live at the mercy of a job or person. To do that, we must have a major mental shift from working a job to owning multiple streams of income. And I am working on it, y'all. I want y'all to know I'm working on my merchandise to sell. We're going to start with a journal, coffee mug, and a couple of t-shirts. So as soon as I get my product back, and you know it's delayed due to COVID, and I can approve these items and I love them, you'll certainly see them and have the opportunity to purchase anything that attracts you and you feel motivated to buy. So I'm certainly working on that, Quadrillion and Grace. I'm trying to get there so that I'm going to get there. You know, you got to change your language. Your language has to match what you're doing. I'm going to get there, certainly, to have multiple streams of income. So there you have it. All right, so let's jump into today's discussion. Let me get one more sip because y'all know me and these sips. I have tea today. I need to soothe my soul, so I'm going to do that. All right, so we're going to be talking about self-care. And let's start with the definition of self-care first. Self-care is the act or practice of pouring back into the human body and psyche yourself. Self-care is the act or practice of pouring back into the human body and psyche, pouring back into yourself. That is what self-care is. Now, when we hear that sounds all well and good, but I want to frame that up a little bit more for you. So what self-care is not? Let me tell you what is not. That way you can know what is not, because I want you to be clear about what you're doing. When I'm asking you to do this, when we start to do our exercises, so pause if you need to and go get your journal. Get your pen or get your piece of paper. By now we should all have journals. If not, you know, get ready to buy mine. Get your journal and get ready to reflect and do the work. All right. Self-care is not consumerism / materialism. Buying things is not self-care. That is not self-care. I'm going to give myself self-care. I'm going to go buy me a brand new pair of tennis shoes. I'm going to go buy me a brand new outfit. I'm going to buy me some new high heels. That's not self-care. That's just buying stuff you like. It's not self-care. Self-care is not grooming. Getting your hair done, getting your nails done, that's grooming. That's grooming. That is not self-care. Self-care is not a body type. Sometimes we think if a person has the perfect body or a nicely shaped body that they're doing self-care. That is not. They just have a good fitness regimen. They're health conscious. That does not mean, or they may not be health conscious. Some of my skinnier friends are skinny because their metabolism is extremely high. They have a high metabolism, especially my friends that are like the same size they were in high school. They have high metabolisms. The rest of us is working for it. It's okay. You're not alone. You working for it with the rest of us. Matter of fact, I'm going to get my life together and start back again tomorrow. So it's not a body type. You know, you can't see a person's body and say, oh, well, that person does self-care. And look at a certain body type that's a little rounder and say that they're not doing self-care. That it's not a body type. It's not a look. It's not, you know, some people have the look, you know, they perfect the look of a thing. So you think because they look deep, they're doing self-care. No, they're not doing self-care. It's not a body type or a look. It is not a gender. Women do not own self-care. I would dare say black men during this season should be the kings of self-care. Like, I want to see some black men holding some spaces, some healing spaces for other black men. Like, black men should own the block on self-care during this time. Self-care is not classist. So it's not something where if you're at a certain level, you can afford self-care. I would say the opposite of that. Like I would for black men, I would say if money is tight and you are on the lower financial spectrum of things, you probably need more self-care than others because you're stressing about money and making ends meet more than others. So I would say you probably need a self-care practice probably more than some others because you have those additional stresses. Self-care is not an age thing. So it's not something that's you need more when you're younger or you need more when you're older. It's for everyone. So self-care is not an ageist thing. It's not that at all. So I want you all to be very aware, very clear on what self-care is not. So then it frogs you to what is self-care. Now here's why I say we need to be doing that, especially during this time. As African Americans, and not everybody that watches my channel is an African American, but as an African American, I'm speaking from the African American perspective because most of the people that do watch the channel are African American. We are living in a time where it can feel very damaging to how you feel, your emotions. And remember, we talked that how you feel drives how you think. It drives your perspective on things, which drives the choices that you make. Right? So everybody's upset about the looting that happened in Atlanta and all of that. That came out of how people felt. They feel angry, they feel hurt, they feel all of those things. And their perception is that society is lying to us. And as a result, my choice is going to be to damage back in the way, that I feel I am being damaged. Right? Healing must come. You must, and it is your responsibility to heal. It is your responsibility to do the things that you need to do to get the healing that you need. So I want to focus on self-care today and things that you could do and can do to help yourself get to wholeness and help heal yourself. Now, why is it important that we do that? Because we don't have the normal spaces available to us during COVID. Like you're not able to go to church and be amongst like-minded people and you can hear the preacher, yes, because they have online services, but you don't have the opportunity to get the comfort that comes from community, to get the comfort that comes from being in the building, that gets the comfort from just sitting on the pew. You don't get that. If you do yoga, and yoga is your space for healing, and that's what you do. You get that type of healing from the yoga community. You don't have the comfort of the yoga studio and the community of those that go to do yoga and to hear the instruction and the teaching that comes as a part of the course. You don't, the class, you don't get that, right? So how do you give yourself what it is that you need? And we want to spend some time there. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what do you need to feel cared for? What does your soul need to feel cared for? And I have about 6 questions I'm going to ask you. So how do you get down? Because me saying that is like you're going to be grabbing in the air, trying to grab things that you think will work for you. But I really want you to go a little bit deeper and say, what's bothering you? What's bothering you? Find out what's bothering you and where your point of irritation is, where your point of hurt is, where's your point of frustration? And then what do I need to care for that? Example. I was finding myself irritated at the end of every day. By the time I get up in the morning and do mommy stuff, school stuff for the kids, work all day, cafeteria lady, then plan dinner, now I'm back to being a wife and finished with all, I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling tired. I was feeling very irritated. And so I decided I'm going to redo my bedroom. I'm going to turn my bedroom into a sanctuary. And every bit of it needs to feel like a sanctuary. And I redid everything that I could possibly do. I got new bedding. I got new, and by new bedding, I'm talking new comforter and shams and new curtains and all those things. And I haven't burned incense for years. I'm not an incense type of girl. Listen, we got incense, candles. Now I've always done the diffuser because I like diffusers and diffusing the oils. But I've added to that with incense and all types of stuff. Why? Because I want to smell when I walk in the room, I want the smell of the room to greet me. I even ordered a fountain. I didn't like this particular fountain that I ordered because it didn't sound right. I wanted a trickle. I didn't want it to sound like somebody was using the bathroom all day in my ear. But I wanted very much, yes, go ahead and laugh, because that's what that particular fountain sounded like. It was like, that's not the sound I was going for. But I want the trickling of the stream in the background. I want, when I walk into my bedroom, the very sound of the bedroom, the smell, the sound, the visual element to minister to my entire soul. And I tell my children lovingly, mommy is clocking out for the next hour. Anything you need, see your dad, because your mom is off from work right now. She's done. She's done with work. She's done with parenting. And she's done with wifing for about the next hour. I'm finna shut this door and lay across my bed and be in the oasis of my room, be in the sanctuary of my room, because that is what my soul needs. And then I might read something. I might just watch TV. Hell, I might just have a cocktail. Whatever I'm gonna do up there in that room, that's my time to do it in the sanctuary of my room. That's what my soul needed to feel cared for. And even if I don't do anything but walk in the room and come back out, I feel cared for just seeing that I have done something to care for me in that way. I've also upped my meditation practice. I try to meditate twice a day now as opposed to one time. Why? Because we're in a season where all the different things that's happening in the news is damaging. It damages you emotionally when you see these things. As a person, as a black woman, I'm married to black men. I'm in a house with one black man and 2 black boys, and they are tall. My 9-year-old is 5 feet tall. The average 9-year-old is like 4 feet 4. My 9-year-old is 5 feet tall. I have tall children. These stories come out and they hurt me as a mother. They hurt me as a woman. They hurt me as a wife. And I have to figure out, when do I start to talk to my kids? How do I start to talk to my kids? What about all of those? You feel all those different things. You have to restore. What do you need to restore? What do you need? I hope I gave you, and let me say this. You won't really know until you start to work through it. Until you start to work through what it is that you need, it'll evolve. So until you start to do it, you're not going to have a clear picture at the start. You might have a very clear picture. But what I found in my journey was that it started with, I'm just going to really clean this space. I want my space to be clean. I need it to be very, very clean. And when I walk in this room, I need to walk into a very clean room that smells good. And I would I would do my diffuser, and I started with the cleaning of the room. Then it went from cleaning the room to, I'm going to redecorate it. I'm going to decorate it. I'm going to, it needs to be visually very pretty to me. I need it to be pretty to me. And then after I did that, I kind of went into I need a meditation corner, because normally I just meditate wherever. I meditate in my office. I meditate wherever I'm meditating. I don't have a meditation corner. I meditate wherever I'm going to do meditation. And then I was like, no, I think I want a meditation corner in my room. I think, and it just kind of evolved into, and then it finally became this is what I need in totality, this room, this space, away from the husband, the kids, away from all the distractions, work, and all the different things that's going on. I'm going to go up in my room and have my sanctuary, my moment. And so allow it to evolve. Allow that thought to evolve. Allow what you need to evolve. Give space to it, but you got to start to finish. All right. Question number 2. Do you need to disconnect from all media? Like, maybe that's something you need to do. You need to disconnect, not just from social media, because a lot of times you hear people say, I'm disconnected from social media. Maybe you need to disconnect from all types of media. Maybe you need to come off of YouTube or television or anything. Like, maybe you need to have times of day where you're not tapped into everything that's happening in the world. You might, just to keep your energy good, you might need to say, okay, in the morning, I'm not going to do it. In the morning, I'm not going to get into it. In the morning, I'm going to set my intention for the day. I'm going to pray. I'm going to spend time with God. I'm going to meditate. And then I'll start to add things as I go along. I looked at an interview of the Dalai Lama over the weekend, and he said he only allows 1, maybe 2 hours for TV media a day. That's it. That he spends 3 or 4 hours a day in meditation and retreat. Now, I don't have 3 or 4 hours to get in meditation and retreat. I don't have that, but I certainly can limit my intake, because while I'm not a huge TV watcher, social media is something that I do a lot of. So maybe I need to cut that back to you get 30 minutes a day to see what's going on on social media, and that's it. Or maybe I only do it on the weekends. However, you need to manage all of the noise that's coming at you, and how are you going to do that? My next question is, what are you eating? How are you eating? And it might sound like, what does food have to do with anything? But nourish your soul. It's basic nourishment. How are you nourishing yourself? And this question came from me reflecting over how I was eating so great. Like, my eating habits and what I was doing around food was absolutely wonderful prior to COVID. And as COVID came in and my stress at work, because I work in healthcare, escalated, so did my snacks, so did my drinking, to be honest, so did my cocktails. So did all the bad consumption around food grew. I mean, it just blossomed. It just blossomed and blossomed in a very real way. Like, ooh, all the snacks, all the, multiple cocktails and all those things just, it took on the spirit of spring. It really did. It just took on a whole separate spirit. So anyway, a part of me caring for myself is me preparing foods that are healthy. It is me communicating I love you in a basic way. I love you to myself. It's me saying, I love you, and I'm going to eat things that nourish you. I'm going to eat things that help your body feel better, rest better, function better. I'm going to eat things that visually look good to me. All of that is a part of what are you eating. Making sure that what you're eating is good, not just good to the taste buds, but that is good when you look at it, but that is good when it processes through your body. That is a form of self-care. What are you eating? What are you drinking? Drink things that are beneficial to your body. All of that comes into play. All right, next I'm going to ask you, so what can you do? Question number 4, what can you do in a time where it can feel powerless to be African American. It can feel powerless. It can feel, you feel, what do I do at this juncture? What can you do? One of the things that I can do is I can buy black. I could do that. I could support black-owned businesses. A lot of people went down after the riots on Friday and helped to clean up downtown. What else can you do? There are things that you can do to give back to your community. The dollar is a powerful agent. How will you use your dollar? If you like Chick-fil-A and you eat Chick-fil-A, fine. Find the one that is franchised by an African American and buy your Chick-fil-A from the African American. What can you do? Well, those are things that you can do to edify and build up our community. What can you do? Maybe you can host a Zoom meeting for black men and allow black men to come on and express knowledge or different things from a Zoom call. What can you do? Whatever it is that you can do, figure out what you can do and do it. I can buy black owned. I can do that. You can buy black owned cocktails. It's a black owned cocktail I learned about. Bomade. It tastes like lemonade. Buy you a black owned cocktail. Whatever you need to do, support. Doing something for me that supports my community helps me. It raises my mood elevator. It raises my energy. It raises how I feel about it. What can you do? Figure out what you can do. How can I literally support and encourage and edify people of color in a lasting way? Do that. Next, can you take a spiritual class? Can you learn something that edifies you? I have a friend who is a part owner of a BIPOC healing space called Sanctuary in the City. I'll put the link here. And they're offering online classes, and they're offering it free to the community. I share their link often on my page. And BIPOC means Black, Indigenous, People of Color. I had to think about it to make sure I said it correctly. But their whole space and healing space is focused on the struggles of Black, Indigenous, People of Color, and the struggles and healing the wounds that come from us living in a system that is designed to not work for us but against us. And that's their entire healing space. They offer classes that deal with emotional healing for specifically around the types of issues that we're dealing with today. It's called Sanctuary in the City. Please, y'all, partake in some of those classes. Find classes that will heal you, or attend different webinars or online things that will help you feel better about you. Those are things you can do. My last tip for you is connect with your tribe, your homies, your friends, your family members. Connect with those individuals who edify you. Connect with those individuals who believe in you, who build you up. Connect with those individuals that get you and get it, and that you can talk with, and that you can spend time with, that you can get a hug from. Connect with family. Connect with your cuz. Connect with all those different individuals and spend time with them during this season as a part of your self-care. Do it intentionally. Do it because you need self-care. Go look at your mama. Mama, I just love you, mama. I love you too, baby. I think the world do you. I think you're beautiful. All of that. Spend time with the people who love you, whom you love, and you all encourage and edify one another until we can do it as a collective safely. These are my tips for self-care for this week. Y'all, I want you to take care of yourselves, love yourselves, be good to yourselves during this time. Build yourself up. Build yourself up. That's all I have for you today. And it's not take the day today, it's take care of yourself today. All right, guys, I wish you all to have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.